Alright, the first engine we'll look at is, yeah, of course, Thomas the Tank Engine. Yep, we all love our boy Thomas. Oh, and he almost looks like my original designs. Yep, the original designs. But Thomas, we're the same thing, just without smoke box sides. And they're without lamp irons. I think Thomas is still the same thing. Oh, now I had to put a coal bunker here. Yep. Let's move on to the next engine. And of course, that is... Hold up. First is the engines of the railways. The first 3 engines of the railway series they have here are Edward, Henry, and Gordon. But first we'll take a look at Edward. Yep, he's the number 2 engine. Well, in the railway series, the tender engines, including Percy, weren't numbered back then, except Thomas, who was numbered. Why? 1 is the only easiest number that Reverend can only draw. So yeah, next up is Henry. Oh yeah, Edward's model looked different back then. How? Well, back in the days, my engines halfway had noses, and all their faces are drawn on. And back in the days, Edward looked a little bit wider in size. You know, like about that. So next up is Henry. Yep. Oh God! Next up is Henry. Here's the number 3 engine to be on Soloist. Here's the number 3 engine to go on Sodor. Yep. Well, back then, he wasn't like that at all. And oh yeah, it's also my past Thomas modules were originally going to be in remakes, like Thomas and Gordon, Edward and Gordon, and many other stuff. But that didn't happen. Also, the lines on this tender look different compared to the past ones I got. Next up is Gordon. Neat. Yep, the biggest engine on the steam team. Well, back then, he was the same size as Henry. And he didn't have sides at the time. Nor, what can I call them? Oh yeah, lamp irons. All the engines did not have lamp irons at the time. And worst of all the faces had to be colored on, like I said. Well, that's enough reviewing them. So the next one is James. Yep. Oh, James. Oh, but the size here doesn't look too bad. sides here doesn't look too bad, but if you see the face here, I do not know how to draw it, so I did it perfectly. Yep. And so yeah, here's the number 5. Alright, back then, it used to be longer. And now the next ones are Persephone and Tubby. Okay, let's start with Percy. Well, he did exist back when I was 10 years old. Oh, and fun fact, Edward is the first dungeon I built. Yep, here's the number 6. And yes, but if you looked differently back then, they looked different. Toby didn't exist until now. So this is Toby, the tram engine, with the number 7, with a couple in here. A couple up to Henrietta. Yeah, Bill and Funnel. And next on this DT, let's go through Ermintrude. Yep, she's the first ever female steam engine to come out Sodor and be part of the steam team. Well, originally Duck was going to be part of the steam team, but that never happened. So they replaced him with her. The first time seeing herself was on artwork. And oh boy, she looked stylized back then in her artwork. But now, she's different. So yeah, well, take a look at the extra engines. And that is Duck, Donald, and Douglas. Well, first I'm gonna go with Duck. Yep, he's a good boy here. Yep, he's a GWR locomotive. And he's the number 8. And then next up are Donald and Douglas. Those have to be one of my favorite modules. And sometimes my least favorite. Why? Now they were Black of the Railway series for a short time. Yep. Donald is the number 9 and Douglas is the number 10. Yep, on the sides they don't look too bad. But if you look at the faces, I think they're hard to make. I remade them, and I remade the missing coach. I restored it. Now let's look at the extras, which are City of Churro, 209, Rocket, and Diesel. But first let's go with Diesel because he's the bad boy. I know that Diesel is a bad boy, but I made him in an episode called Diesel Bumps Everything at Diesel. This is City of Churro, the first visiting engine I've ever built. Yep, he is only seen once in the railway series. And Gordon and the Famous Visitor, which used to be called Domeless Engines. And then he was seen as a scrap engine. Next up is City of Churro. Rocket. In the television series, he first appeared in I don't know what it is, but it's a movie. Yep. Back in his railway series form, he didn't have a face that time. Until he has one now. Neat. And the next ones you have, and the last one you have is D199. Yep, he's a good boy. He's based on a class 40. Yep, he's based on a class 45. Yes, now we're gonna get to oh wait, I have a plus here whose name is Bertie. But first, let me get the engines out of the way. Now, here is Bertie. Yep. Well, if you look into my past videos, it's filled with school buses and a New York City bus. I based that video off real life ago. And yes, it looks very natural indeed. Well, now let's bring in the rolling stock, who are Annie and Clarabelle. Well, Annie looks fine, while Clarabelle is this. They all look nice. They're bland. They have a conductor. Only Clarabelle has it. And yeah, she's the back coach. Well, the next up is Emily's brake coach. Yep. And Henrietta. Emily's brake coach is fine. Well, Henrietta. What? The next stop we'll look at is Gordon's Express coaches. Well, I only have 2 here. Well, in the TV series, there are 3 to 5 of them. They look good boyish. Yep, they all look nice. And now we'll get to some rolling stock, which includes wait for it. And yes, that is 2 troublesome truck, a female coach, and a brake van. Brake vans are good. while troublesome trucks are bad, when in reality, the British trucks might sometimes be unbraked. This is the troublesome band. They could be unbraked too. But they could get an engine. This is a slow-door mail truck. And that belongs to the person. And the next one is, and last but not least is, a flatbed with a face. Yep. And that's what I have. And most of all, you have my layouts, including the Farquhar Station, Thomas's branch line, of course, Nafford Station, I should say terminal. Yep, that's the engine's first stop. And now you have Titbit Sheds, of course. Yep, we got all of the engines circled around Titbit Sheds. I got all of the engines I reviewed. And, yep, including Donald and Douglas, my latest custom builds. Yep. And we've got rolling stock. Yep. You have all my rolling stock here. This is the real type of fat. This is the real deal the top of fat. Yep. There should be the guard. And yeah, I think this is what I have here. I don't know what to call this thing, but it's a springy.
Hey, Mike, what's up? Heard about all the places we went down yesterday.
Go. 38. That's my review of the engines and layouts. Bye-bye.